Ladies and gentlemen, something historic happened in Georgia. Tucker Carlson took the stage and delivered what might be his most powerful message yet, calling Trump's coming victory a triumph of the human spirit over the machine. The energy in the arena, the crowds, the passion, it was a glimpse into what terrifies the establishment most. And when Trump asked that simple question, are you better off now than 4 years ago? The response was deafening. Now, if you suffer from any type of daily pain, I need you to listen to this message very carefully. And what we know about the root cause of pain is changing forever. As we age, aches and pains are natural, and we're all searching for effective ways to relieve pain without side effects and addiction. Conolidine has become the go-to pain reliever for over 1 million Americans and hundreds of professional athletes. Try Conolidine risk-free for a full 90 days. You've got nothing to lose. You are days away from finally beating pain forever. So go to trycono.com/NNN and see for yourself. Okay, we've got lots to unpack in this segment of the Raw feed. So let's jump right into it. Here's that question that Donald Trump asked.
Asking a very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? I was very unanimous, wasn't it? The answer is no. By any standard, the answer is no. And I'm here today with a message of hope for all Americans. With your vote in this election, I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals into our country. And I will bring back the American dream. I'm going to bring it back very quickly.
And man, that was just one moment.
Vice President. After all the catastrophes she has caused, Kamala Harris can't say one thing that you do differently. You saw that? What would you do differently? I can't think of anything. This is the worst president in the history of our country and the worst vice president in the history of our country.
Nothing but truth right there. Oh, and he goes in about 60 minutes. Remember when they edited that interview?
A question. Licensing says they have to be honest. They gave her a question. She gave an answer that was from a loony bin. They said, we can't have that. They took the answer out in its entirety, threw it away, and they put another answer in. And I think it's the biggest scandal in broadcasting history. That's what I think. It's election interference fraud.
It sure is. I want to play for you some stuff that Tucker Carlson said because it was just remarkable. I mean, Tucker Carlson, I mean, obviously we can play clips of Donald Trump, and it's beautiful. I mean, look at this crowd. Look at this crowd. It is filled to the rafters. Yeah. RFK Jr. was there as well. They prayed for Donald Trump. Look at that beautiful photograph. I mean, okay, let's go to this moment. We've got a couple clips here. Let's listen.
Seeks to oppress. It doesn't make it any less real. Donald Trump's victory will be a triumph of the human spirit. It will be a triumph of Americans over the machine that seeks to oppress them. It'll be a middle finger wagging in the face of the worst people in the English-speaking world who are our leaders. It will be a moral victory the size of which I never thought I would live to see. It doesn't make it any less real.
Here's more from Tucker. Let's play this one.
Kamala Harris is just a hapless. The Democratic Party machine, and notice I'm not beating up on Kamala Harris, is just a hapless victim who happened to be there in the right color, so they grabbed her. Tim Walz, they needed some, whatever Tim Walz is. They needed a weak man, because it is the party of weak men and unhappy women. One of which leads to the other, by the way. Where you find weak men, you will inevitably find unhappy women. Sorry. And they make them on purpose. They weaken the men to drive the women insane, to have the most consistent voting bloc ever in the history of politics. Unhappy women made unhappy by weak men. But it could be anybody. It could be anybody. Kamala Harris is just a stand-in. She's a cardboard cutout. She has a soul. God created her. I'm not attacking her humanity. But there's nothing there. It doesn't matter. If it wasn't Kamala Harris, it would be, I don't know, Pete Buttigieg or whatever. Who are these people? It doesn't matter. They're the cutouts. They work for the machine. They're totally dispensable. They're replaceable. And they need to have limits set for them. And so on Election Day, and I sincerely believe Donald Trump's going to win. And if I thought he was going to lose, I'd be here anyway, by the way. I would. In fact, I would have been here earlier if I thought he was going to lose, just to make the point. I mean it. I don't like people who jump on the winning train, okay? I think Donald Trump's going to win. And not only do I think Donald Trump's going to win, I think that the vibe shift has been so profound. I mean, the numbers suggest he's going to win. He's ahead in all 7 battleground states. But much more important, and the early voting seems to be favoring him. But more important even than the conventional political markers is what you smell around you. And it's the return of freedom.
Yeah.
It's the return of the country you grew up in, where you could say things like, I like that guy, and maybe you like the other person. That's fine. That was not allowed for 9 years. And it's allowed now. The Democrat.
Let's see. Let's go to another clip here. He's talking about Trump talking about Elon Musk.
Because in Pennsylvania, trying to get us lots of votes because he thinks it's so important. He's campaigning. Because he said this is the most important election in our lifetime. And if Trump doesn't win the election, our country is potentially ruined. I mean, he's as strong as anybody I've ever seen.
Elon Musk on the campaign trail. Whoever thought that would happen.
Defending America. But I will never apologize for defending America. I'm not going to do it. I will protect our workers. I will protect our jobs. I will protect our borders. I will protect our families. And I will protect the birthright of our children to live in the richest and most powerful nation on the face of the earth. And that's what we're going to have.
Amen. Here's more.
Singular contribution. All right, I'll say something. I think Donald Trump's singular contribution to this country and the world is by his presence exposing a lot of things a lot of us believed as fraudulent, as lies. It's changed my life watching it. But the single biggest lie that Donald Trump has exposed is that this is a functional democracy, when in fact it's a country oppressed by a small group of its unhappiest citizens for their own benefit. And the promise of this campaign is that Donald Trump will return this country to its owners. And that's its population, that's its people, that's its citizens. And I pray fervently that it happens. I mean it. That's why I'm so honored to be here. Thank you.
Amen. Amen to that. I think I got another Tucker clip for you. Dude, Tucker, man, he was just on fire. Here's a moment. I'm not sure. I don't think this was at the rally. This is somewhere else. This is in North Carolina, but I think it's really important to bring this up.
But as I look back at my life's journey and events, I now recognize that it's been the hand of God leading me to where I am today. Thank you. And my faith took on new meaning on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania, where I was knocked to the ground, essentially, by what seemed like a supernatural hand. And I would like to think that God saved me for a purpose, and that's to make our country greater than ever before.
Amen. He definitely had the hand of God on him that day. Oh, it was beautiful to witness him make those remarks. Because it reminds me of what that pastor said, that when he was hit, he had the vision of Trump getting hit by the assassin's bullet, and he fell down, and his faith became stronger. And now Donald Trump is professing that very prophetic vision that was given 4 months prior. Here's more.
Not only you. And so that's the second important thing about this election, okay? The first is every person in this room needs to understand you are not in a despised minority. You are in an incredibly gentle and tolerant majority who put up with this crap for way too long. As they insulted not only you, but the memory of your ancestors who died for this country. They tore down statues to their memory. People have never built anything in their lives. They went out of their way to humiliate you and spit on you and the graves of your ancestors. And that's not an exaggeration. They did that. And this country is so nice. It's so polite. It's so thoughtful and empathetic and sweet. It's the kind of country that loves dogs and gives directions to strangers, that we put up with it for 4 years. But we can't anymore. We just can't. And we can't for two reasons. The first reason that we can't put up with it for one more minute is because it's just not justice. It's not. It's not justice. It's unfair. You cannot reward the most parasitic, useless, violent, nasty, aggressive people in your country. You can't make them the richest. You just can't. It's just wrong. In a fair, decent country, the people who work the hardest, who have the highest level of talent, who are the most creative, who are the most decent to their neighbors, who give the biggest tips to waitresses, those people should be successful. Those people should be revered. It shouldn't be Larry Fink. Are you joking? Kamala Harris shouldn't have a job. She has no skills. How did we wind up with a system where Kamala Harris, you couldn't change the tire on your truck, much less drive it? How did she wind up at the top of the pyramid?
How did she wind up? Well, they ousted Joe Biden. That's how. Wow, so many moments from this event.
Taking days off at levels not seen. I hear she's taking another one tomorrow or something. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Maybe she knows something we don't know. That's bad, right? Maybe she knows something we don't know. Does everybody understand that? Maybe. She takes a day to study for a simple interview with an MSDNC reporter, but then makes a fool of herself with answers that are so crazy.
And then they edit the answers down. So, what we witnessed in Georgia wasn't just a rally. It was a movement coming full circle. When Tucker said this would be a middle finger wagging at the face of the worst people in the English-speaking world, the crowd erupted and the momentum is undeniable. But here's what I want to know from you. With just 12 days left, is this the energy that overcomes election interference? I think so. Too big to rig, right? Share your thoughts below.